Hello and welcome back. We have discussed Ethereum scaling and Polygon Edge, and now in this lesson let's discuss the architecture of Polygon Edge. This is the architecture of Polygon Edge. It starts with the base layer of peer-to-peer networks. Here the Polygon Edge uses libp2p model, which is basically used to set up the decentralized peer-to-peer networks and their communication. We will discuss how to set up these networks on our own from scratch in another course separately. For now, you don't have to know libp2p in order to work on Polygon Edge. According to Polygon, the main advantage of using libp2p library is speed. That is, libp2p has a significant performance improvement over devp2p. devp2p is used in Geth and other clients. The second one is extensibility. It serves as a great foundation for other features of the system. And third one is modularity. libp2p is modular by nature, just like Polygon Edge. This gives greater flexibility, especially when parts of Polygon Edge need to be swappable. Basically, libp2p will help us creating a network of nodes using the Polygon Edge. On top of libp2p model, Edge uses GRPC protocol. So what is a GRPC protocol? If you are familiar with application programming interfaces, that is APIs, and how it works, then you might have heard of a GRPC protocol. If not, let me explain you. APIs are basically used for communication between two or more computers, or more specifically computer programs. This works in a request-response cycle. Like you make a request on Google by searching, and in return Google provides you with the results with the response. Now to make this process smooth and efficient, developers introduce something like API protocols, which means APIs that follow certain rules. Some of the examples are SOAP or Simple Objects Access Protocol. Then second one is REST or Representational State Transfer. Then third one is JSON RPC or JavaScript Object Notation Remote Procedure Call. And the GRPC or Google Remote Procedure Call. This is what we are discussing right now, and there are many more like GraphQL, XML RPC, etc. Each of these APIs works according to the certain rules that are set and is used in different use cases. So ultimately GRPC is a protocol set up for communication between Polygon Edge nodes, and unlike other protocols, GRPC lets developers define their own custom functions to enable inter-service communication as required. We can talk about this topic for a day long, but this will be beyond the scope of this course. For now, let's focus on building blockchain with Polygon Edge. Now the second thing that comes is the consensus algorithms. Currently, Edge supports the Istanbul Byzantine fault tolerance or simply IBFT consensus with two flavors. That is proof of authority and proof of stake. By default, proof of authority is selected while setting up the blockchain, but we can migrate from proof of authority to proof of stake. We will see how to do that in later part of this course. Now the next module is sync module. This module contains the logic for synchronization protocol. It uses for syncing a new node with the running network or validating inserting new blocks for the nodes which do not participate in the consensus. We have already discussed that Polygon Edge uses libp2p as the networking layer, and on top of that it runs gRPC. So there are two sync types in Polygon Edge. First one is bulk sync, which is basically syncing a large range of blocks at a time. Whereas the second one is watch sync, which syncs on a per block basis. One of the main modules of the Polygon Edge is blockchain and state. Blockchain and state is a powerhouse that deals with the block reorganizations. This means that it deals with the process of adding a new block to the blockchain. So if you are not familiar with what state is, then let's discuss it briefly. You know that Bitcoin uses distributed ledger in order to record the activity happening on the blockchain. These activities must follow certain rules such that no one can modify the ledger, or a single Bitcoin address cannot spend more Bitcoin than it has previously received, etc. The Ethereum, or you can say Ethereum compatible blockchains, follow almost exactly the rules, but instead of using distributed ledger, It is a distributed state machine. Now the question arises, what is a state machine, right? Well, to explain it simply, a state machine is a mathematical model of computation. Let me give you an example. You can say traffic lights or vending machines are some examples of state machines that performs a predetermined sequence of actions when certain input is provided. The state machine can change from one state to another in response to some inputs, and this changing of state is called as states transition. Ethereum's state is a large data structure that holds not only all accounts and balances, but a machine state which can change from block to block according to the predefined set of rules, and which can execute arbitrary machine code. The specific rules of changing state from block to block are defined by the EVM. The state module here in the Polygon Age represents the state transition object. It deals with how the state changes when a new block is included. Among other things, state handles executing transaction, executing the EVM, and changing the Merkle trees. The key takeaway is that these two parts are very connected and they work closely together in order for the client to function. Now we can discuss more about the form of block storage like Merkle trees and how it's computed and structured, but it will be beyond the scope of this course. As of now, these things are sufficient to understand Polygon Age and build our own blockchain. Now the next module is TX pool. Basically this module represents the transaction pool implementation where the transactions are added from different parts of the system. Then comes the JSON RPC module. We have already discussed what is API and what are their needs and use cases. Like GRPC, JSON RPC is also one of the types of API used for communication. The JSON RPC module implements the JSON RPC layer, something that the dApp developers will use to interact with the blockchain. Apart from this, Polygon Age uses modules like crypto for using crypto functions and other modules that are listed here. So this was all about the architecture of the Polygon Age, and in the next lesson, we will install the Polygon Age on our local system. See you in the next lesson.